How's the squad looking after Saturday? Everyone recovered?
Yeah, the squad are looking lively. They're looking in good spirits. The mood around the group is fantastic. So we're trying to keep that mood positive and upbeat. And you don't obviously get too much time to do anything tactical or too much tactical. You have to just make sure you recover them properly and get them ready to go.
Anyone back who wasn't available on Saturday?
The same group are available. Obviously, we're getting more load into Bruno and to Lee, but we'll assess those individually and make sure that we use them as they're ready.
Would either of them be in contention for the weekend, or perhaps for the Celtic game beyond that?
Yeah, I think that they're going to be in contention. They've got opportunity to be involved tomorrow also. But we're looking at the right time to put them in, and also looking at the group that are playing, making sure that we don't disrupt things are going well. We have to pick the right time to utilise the whole squad.
Is it fair to say with the performances you've got, it's going to be difficult for them to get into the team when they are fully fit?
That's how it should be. It should be like that. The guys have to be striving to stay in the team. Just because you have the shirt, it doesn't mean that you have a right to retain it. You have to perform. You have to perform at the right level to hold on to the shirt, because we've got a squad of players that are desperate to be involved, a squad of players that are snapping at their heels, and I think that for a manager is the best scenario of all. You've got people who are hungry and desperate to get into the team, and you've got people who are hungry and desperate to stay in the team. So for me, that's the best of both things.
When it comes to likes of Bruno, obviously people are expecting that him being fit again, he might come back in, but does he have to be patient? You know, the way that David Bates and Russell Martin are playing right now?
Everyone in the squad has to be patient. Everyone in the squad has to bring positive energy to the group, and Bruno's done that. He trains phenomenally well. As I've said before, I think many times, he's a consummate professional. He's there for his teammates, and he understands, because of his experience, that we have to pick a team to go and win a game, and that's all it is. It's not to do with reputation, it's to do with getting the people on the pitch who are performing, and the guys at the moment are doing that.
He's also got a big game at the end of the season with the World Cup. Is that been something that he's mentioned to you in order to make sure he's
I know let's be honest, he's a top performer playing for the European champions. He wants to be involved in as many games as possible to make sure that at the end of the season he's fit and ready to go. So I understand that, I recognise that, and it's up to my job. It is my job to make sure that he's in perfect condition for us, and also perfect condition for his commitment to the end of the season. But my thought, as always, is only to try and go and win the game.
I suppose it is a nice situation to find yourself in. You've got these plethora of choices, and I suppose across the pitch as well.
Well, I think the surprising thing for me is the performance level of David Bates. You bring him in against Celtic because we trust him, because we understand the work that he puts in every day, because we understand the improvements that he's made, and he's performing at a level. Is he the finished article? No, not yet. But he's doing things that I like. He's doing things that are improving and getting better. And I think that he needs to see from me a degree of trust and a degree of respect for what he's done. I still think there's more to come from him. But as you say, I've got a group of players now that are capable of pushing each other to bigger and better things.
A number of the guys, you've spoken about them, you've perhaps praised them on one hand, but on the other hand you've said that there's room for these guys to improve. I mean, is that the approach you think is going to get the best of these guys without wanting to, give them too much sort of faint praise sort of thing? You need to give them that wee bit of realism.
Well, let's be realistic. We've not done anything so far this season. We've performed well in some games. That's all. We need to carry on. We need to sustain. We need to get better than we are. If we're going to close the gap, if we're going to push on, if we're going to have a positive end to the season, we need to get better. As nice as some of the aspects have been, there'll be no patting people on the back because we'll have achieved nothing. What we want to do is elevate our level. And that's not just me as a manager, that's the entire squad. We want to get better. We want to push on. We want to improve. And that's the mindset this group currently have, which is a fantastic thing to see.
There's 10 games left. There's 9. The gap is 9 points. Do you think you can close it?
Until it's mathematically impossible, we have to keep on pushing on. But as I've said all the way through, all we can do is keep aiming high and keep making sure our performance level is right. If people slip up, they slip up. But we can't actually count on anything going our way. What we have to do is make our own luck and make sure our performance level is commensurate to the task. And the task at hand is to go and win a game tomorrow. So we have to make sure all of our energies are focused on that.
Do you feel that your team is now in a role whereby they can produce a string of results that can put the pressure on Celtic?
I believe we have the capacity to trouble any team in the country. That's all I will say, because belief, talking about it, saying that we're going to do this, do that, means absolutely nothing unless you go and back it up. So I believe we've got a squad and a team that's capable on any given day of going out and beating our opponent. What we have to make sure that we do is not get too carried away. We have to make sure we take care of our business, and the business that we have is a very, very tough game against an organised opponent who beat us last time we played them. So we need to make sure we're ready for that challenge and that challenge only. And if it puts us in a better position, a more positive position, that's all we can really look to do.
How would you characterise the belief levels in the group?
They're good. I was particularly pleased at the weekend with the guys not getting frustrated when Hearts had a little spell in the game where they were frustrating us and keeping the ball a little bit. They still kept believing, they still kept moving the ball. Even when people at Ibrox were wanting us to do better and score lots and lots of goals, they still did the right things. And it takes a little bit of bravery and a little bit of belief to go and play in that environment. So I'm pleased for them. I do think, though, if we'd have got the second goal earlier, it would have alleviated a lot of frustration amongst the fans and a little bit of tension for us. But they had to keep going to the end, so I was pleased in that regard.
Is that especially encouraging, given the troubles the team's had at home this season, that perhaps that might have been a game early in the season they might have come unstuck?
Yeah, I think Ibrox is a difficult place to play. It is. There's no getting away from it. There's 50,000 people there, desperate for us to do well, expecting us to do well. People aren't just going to come here and roll over. We have to go and put performance on, and sometimes we have to be more patient than we would like. Sometimes we have to wait until the 88th minute for that second goal, or even the first goal. We have to understand that. And when that pressure comes from external, when it comes from things not particularly going as we would like, we have to be brave enough to stand up and say, fine, give me the ball. I'm still a good footballer. I still want the ball. I'm going to demand the ball from my teammate. And the pleasing aspect for me was we had lots of people on the pitch doing that.
Do you still think or do you think that you're a team that's better suited to playing away from home with the pace you've got in the forward areas, the threat you carry in the counter-attack?
I don't think it matters. I think that any opponent that you're getting put up against, you have to find a way to go and beat them. So better suited to being away, playing on the counter-attack. They're all just different aspects of a football match. So the football matches are there for us to go and win, regardless of whether we can do counter-attacking really well or whether we can be more patient in our build-up. We have to find a way to win. And pleasingly, we're looking as though we have more attributes and more assets to help us go and do that now.
Well, that result against St Johnstone the last time out, if they spur the players on to get a bit of revenge tomorrow night?
It's not about revenge. We congratulate them. They came and did a job on us at Ibrox. We want to go and do a job on them because we want to continue our evolution as a team. We want to continue improving. We want to continue to actually push on and finish the season on a high. And the only way we can do that is to embrace the challenge and go and put in a really, really good performance. We know we have the quality in the squad to go and get a win. But as I've said, it's about performance level now and making sure we come back with a positive result.
What sort of threat do you expect from them tomorrow night?
Well, I've just shown them the goals that we conceded at Ibrox, so we know how structured they are. We know where they produce a threat from. So it's up to us to accept what they're going to try and do and try and nullify that as quickly as we can, and then try and go and impose our style upon the game. But the players have been fully briefed on what kind of threat they're going to bring to the game, and we have to be ready, whoever's selected, to go and see that out.
Do you expect them to raise their game again? There was some comments after they played at Celtic, and then Rodgers came out and said that he felt that they had raised their game perhaps a couple of levels against Celtic and against yourselves, that more so than able to do it against other teams. Do you think that's
I expect a difficult game. It's not for me to comment on Tommy's team. I expect a difficult game. I expect our opponents to be hard to beat. No one in this league is going to roll over for us. We have to go and push our own agenda and make sure that we actually are forthright and forceful and aggressive in our game plan, and we accept what our opponents bring, whatever level they are capable of getting to.
We're asking every top flight manager about events at Rugby Park at the weekend. With that in mind, what do you make of refereeing standards in Scottish football compared to in England?
Wow. That's a loaded question right there. I think until we're in a situation in Scotland where we have a professional corps of referees training every day with financial backing commensurate to the task, they will find it difficult to reach the standards of the Premier League in England. And that's nothing to do with their own desires or their wants. It's down to the realities of being professionals and being paid to do a job. It's exactly the same as a professional footballer playing at the top level, having all the facilities behind them, as opposed to a part-time footballer having to do a day job and then come and play on a weekend. So unless we get to that level, are able to get to that level, we will be having this conversation continually.
How have you felt about refereeing standards over the last few weeks, just in general, in terms of reference to Rangers?
Been okay. We get penalties given against us for the same thing that happened to Neil. We've had 2 of them. Can you make the referees change them? No. We have to accept and move forward. And what I will say is that our players have to put themselves in a situation where the referees don't become a factor, where we're good enough and clean enough and clever enough that we actually nip out all of those threats, so that we, collectively, me, you, the players, are talking about the football. And the referees are there to facilitate the football, which I think they are trying to do. What we have to make sure is that we don't put them in a situation where they have to make that decision.
Just quick on from the international point of view, you played alongside Scott Brown when he was at the start of his Scotland career. He's now retired. A big loss to the international setup. Would you expect?
Are you asking me to comment on Scott Brown in a Rangers press conference? He's been a really, really good servant. He's taken fantastic care of his body. I think you see his impact he has on his team. He's very, very big. It's up to someone else to go and actually fill the hole that he will leave. But it's an opportunity, possibly for some of our players, to go and step up and make a midfield role their own. So I would thank him as a Scotland fan for his work. But there's an opportunity to move forward now with a group of players that are working with a new manager to try and go and stake a claim and play in his team.